It's incredibly fortunate that most movies Christopher Nolan makes that don't star caped psychopaths tend to be about perception, magicians, and, well, lying to people. Because anyone who tells you that The Dark Knight is Batman in gritty realism is lying. And as a wise Spaniard once said, let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up. And go. So the new district attorney of New York City has locked up every money launderer in town. So all the mobs decide to put all their money, as the movie puts it,
one big pot.
Which really speaks volumes to the camaraderie of the Chicago underworld, considering most charities aren't even that trusting. But one enterprising man wants to steal that money and comes up with a plan. He somehow manages to convince an expert information technician, safecracker, truck driver, and a career criminal to all rob a bank in broad daylight, while simultaneously accepting hits on each other who they know are going to be armed, and not even know what the getaway plan is. Also, it's a known mob bank, so basically anyone in the whole building could be packing heat. But that's not a problem. His plan even goes off without a hitch as he gets away in a line of school buses. Why, even the busload of children behind them just decide to follow the armed gunman, so the cops don't even notice a bus pulling out of a bank. Oh, not to mention that beforehand, a man wearing creepy clown makeup has been standing in front of the bank for God knows how long. Then Batman ties up the glaring plot hole from the last movie by beating up random citizens, then berating them for not being as rich as he is. Then he goes shopping. Then we find out about a proposed business deal between Wayne Enterprises and a money launderer from Hong Kong, because apparently he's the only money launderer District Attorney Harvey Dent has left in the world. And when your city's organized crime syndicates own 5 banks, it seems unlikely. But Batman smells conspiracy and faulty accounting where not even his own contract accounting firm can find, because that's what they teach you in a Mongolian jail, Chinese tax law. But then the accountant finds out that Bruce Wayne is an embezzler, and when he calls him on it, oh hey, Morgan Freeman, whose character's job is to make sure that Wayne Enterprises doesn't go tits up from Bruce Wayne's runaway spending, extravagant lifestyle, and general apathy in the business overall. And then when he's confronted with someone who holds proof of the entire gaping problem literally in his hand, the problem that will send not only Bruce Wayne, but he himself to jail, he tells him to go blow. Yeah, because a vigilante who's committed documented vandalism, attempted murder, corporate espionage, insider trading, phone tapping, and oh yeah, hundreds of millions of dollars in embezzling, really wants to give a law-abiding citizen a good reason to turn him in. There's no way this could come back to bite him if, say, Batman were to ever fall out of the public's good graces. But then the Joker goes to raise hell at New York's underworld city council meeting, and starts off by killing someone for no reason. And then they just shrug it off, because obviously they just bring in any old thug off the street to their meetings of discussing illegal matters. Not, say, their most trusted men who they've known for years, and is statistically likely to be a close relative. So it's no big deal to just keep insulting the man whose gang member you just murdered. Obviously this is a non-violent career criminal. Then Joker waves his stupid wand to disable anyone's problem-solving abilities and manages to get away. But then he just goes and kills the black mob boss in his own headquarters and casually strolls out, because apparently an entire third of Chicago's underworld is this guy and 2 underlings. Then Street Batman goes to stalk his ex-girlfriend, and finds out the new DA is biting at the chop to enact martial law and become New York's new Hitler, and this pleases Batman. Then, not to be outdone by the incredibly morally corrupt DA, Batman decides he needs to add kidnapping, smuggling, air traffic violations, and inciting an international incident to his list of offenses. So he goes to get the only money launderer in the world back to Chicago. He decides this time he needs an alibi, so he surrounds himself by an entire ballet of witnesses who see him get on the same plane that Batman is seen escaping in. Also, the crew flying this plane now knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Then they interrogate Moneybags, who has the police in his pocket in Hong Kong, but can't afford to have a lawyer on retainer, or better yet a political figure to get himself back to Hong Kong. Or maybe it's incredibly rational that a municipal-level attorney would have the budget, clout, and manpower to be able to combat an international money smuggling ring, But then everything is okay because now they can hold an incredibly illegal court hearing from what I guess is later in the same day since nobody has changed their clothes, which means they arrested, booked, filed the paperwork, appointed an impartial judge, and every one of the 500 plus criminals here just decided to use the same counsel, then transported all of them to the same courthouse all in the matter of 8 hours. But then the Joker manages to kill the police commissioner by having him sip a bit of acid. The same acid that here is having trouble burning through paper in at least 100 times the quantity. Then a judge is blown up in her car because Bruce has to protect his favorite member of the Hitler Youth while just leaving his childhood friend to totally not get involved and cause problems because Batman is literally in the building. Then she gets thrown out of a window and they decide to let the Joker just skip away. Then a series of less and less rational explosions caused by this guy with nobody shooting him because you well know the police are so afraid to shoot people who are shooting at them and have killed literally dozens if not more on television. Then they catch the Joker by inventing the world's most resilient paddy wagon, and then Batman does his trailer bait scene where he almost hits the Joker with a motorcycle and then he just decides to do nothing after he ditches his own bike, as if to say, I haven't broke near enough laws fighting you yet. I don't even want to catch you. Then they take him to jail and then beats up a single fat guy who was watching him and nobody comes to help the fat guy. Nobody. This guy, who if nothing else has made fools out of them repeatedly, aren't going to take this prime chance that he's given them to beat him to a bloody pulp. Nope, the Joker waves his magic stupid wand again and bam, needless explosion. And he escapes. To a skyscraper for some reason, where they have a super dumb climax where we find out the moral of the story is that criminals will always do the right thing, and law-abiding citizens are just too big of pussies to do the wrong thing. Oh, then Batman takes credit for all the people the DA killed, whose surprise was Two-Face all along, but it doesn't matter because his whole story arc, after becoming Half-Face, was the Joker coming up to him, all like, hey, I killed your girlfriend, so go kill these other people. And he's like, okay. So yeah, at the end of the movie, Batman's a wanted murderer. And there's no way this guy would turn in a wanted murderer. He's a pussy. There's no way that all these people won't put together that Bruce in fact left the moment Batman showed up in Hong Kong. And not a single person in the entire Applied Science Division of Wayne Enterprises won't say, yeah, we made all his crap, and now he's a murderer. Let's turn him in. But he's rich and a criminal. This movie's version of a perfect man, so I guess everything's gonna be alright.